Imagine a mortuary, a place of silent finality, where the dead find their rest and the living find solace. But what if the silence hides a horrifying truth, and the solace is merely a terrifying illusion? Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a journey into the dark heart of Deliver Us, a film that twists grief into a gateway for unimaginable evil. Today, we're dissecting every chilling detail, every psychological torment, and the shocking ending that will leave you questioning everything. So grab your popcorn, dim the lights, and prepare to have your understanding of horror redefined. Our story begins with Rebecca Owens, a diligent intern completing her training at a mortuary. Her boss, the enigmatic Mr. Delver, congratulates her on her completion, noting the lack of celebration in their line of work. He offers a toast, which Rebecca politely declines, mentioning she doesn't drink, a detail that hints at her personal struggles. Delver explains that she will mostly work alone now, revealing he removed the doors to the embalming room, making it one large prep room, ostensibly for easier monitoring. He insists Rebecca will work day shifts, while he handles night arrivals, dismissing her offer to take on night duties, stating he wouldn't want her worn out. We then flash forward to Rebecca celebrating a significant milestone, 1 year of sobriety. She shares her story at an AA meeting, expressing gratitude for the program that allows her to face her fears and pain. Her sponsor, Valerie, warmly congratulates her but also issues a sobering warning. Valerie reminds Rebecca that, "You're only as sick as your secrets," foreshadowing the dark truths yet to be revealed. Later that night, the phone rings. It's Mr. Delver. Despite their previous arrangement, he needs Rebecca to come in for a night shift to process several transfers from the city morgue. Rebecca, despite not feeling well, agrees, recognizing this as a test of her readiness. Upon arriving, Rebecca notices a work order specifying both embalming and cremation for the bodies, a procedure she finds unusual. She starts on the first body, Jacob Leibowitz, and discovers strange, fresh-looking wounds. Puzzled, she wonders why such effort in embalming if the body is simply to be burned. As she prepares to embalm, a sudden power surge causes the lights to flicker violently, then die, plunging the room into darkness. A phone call from Delver interrupts, who attributes the outage to a storm, reassuring her things will be fine. After the call, Rebecca returns to Leibowitz, only for the body to inexplicably sit up, then fall back down. Terrified, she screams and runs, only to find the mortuary doors locked, trapping her inside. Isolated and vulnerable, Rebecca's mind begins to play tricks on her. She experiences horrifying visions, starting with a distorted call from her father, blaming her for her daughter, Rebecca's sister, going missing and dying on a lake, tying into Rebecca's guilt. The entity then manifests as Valerie, her sponsor, accusing her of relapsing and shaming her. Valerie's apparition insists Rebecca used drugs again, forcing her to confront her greatest fear, failure in her sobriety. Rebecca frantically denies using, but the illusion is powerful, exploiting her insecurities. The entity uses these deeply personal traumas to weaken her, showing her visions of herself overdosing. Distraught, Rebecca calls the real Mr. Delver, who calmly instructs her to return to the mortuary. He reveals he knew about the entity, admitting the mortuary is the safest place for her, as she's a danger to those around her elsewhere. Rebecca, furious and confused, demands to know who he truly is and what's happening. Delver explains that entities can possess the dead easily, but it's a prison, a foothold into our world. They seek a living host strong enough to withstand full possession, and Rebecca is that host. He claims the entity exploits doubts, memories, and sins to gain control, a weakness they both apparently share. The demon has bound itself to her, making time of the essence. Delver then begins to explain the complex ritual to banish a demon, revealing a hidden room with ancient texts and symbols. The ritual involves identifying the demon's true name, which cannot be spoken, but is represented by specific symbols. These symbols, when combined, represent the demon's place in one of the three houses of hell: invidious, desolation, or emulation. The mark containing the demon's name must be placed on the body and burned, but he struggles to explain letting strips and the other half of the equation. Mid-explanation, the entity's illusions return with full force, attacking Delver in Rebecca's mind and telling her it's her turn to burn. Rebecca, manipulated by these visions, tries to perform the ritual herself, cutting her wrist as the entity as Delver instructs. She burns the body, believing she's banished the demon, only to find the illusion hasn't worked. The real Delver calls again, revealing that hours have passed since their last conversation, exposing the depth of the entity's psychological torture. He frantically tells her to find a series of recordings in the downstairs storage room, assuring her they will explain everything. Rebecca discovers the hidden tapes, recorded by Delver himself, which reveal the full, horrifying truth of the ritual. The tapes detail that the blood of the possessed must be injected as a reagent into the deceased body to bind the demon to the mark before burning. This reagent is the missing half of the equation, without which the entity merely escapes. A shocking revelation comes from the tapes. Delver experimented on and used Valerie, Rebecca's sponsor, as a source for this reagent. The entity, now manifesting as Rebecca's deceased father, tempts her to commit suicide, promising it will all be over, preying on her guilt and grief. Her father's illusion tells her to let the dead rest, but this is another trick, a subtle manipulation to make her give up. Rebecca descends into the hidden basement, a place Delver referred to as Valerie's room. There, she finds Valerie, chained and horribly disfigured, her body writhing in agony, a mere vessel for the entity. Rebecca understands the horrific extent of Delver's actions and Valerie's sacrifice. Armed with the full knowledge, Rebecca injects Valerie's blood into the demon-possessed body, places the mark, and finally, burns it. The specific demon possessing the body is banished, and a traumatized Rebecca screams at Delver, who has now arrived. Delver coldly confirms that the entity in the basement is no longer Valerie, admitting he keeps her alive for the reagent. Rebecca confronts him, accusing him of using Valerie, just as he claimed she would choose survival. He reveals that many others have suffered the same fate, becoming shells like Valerie, and that he found no cure, only a way to prevent more deaths through Valerie's blood. Delver justifies his actions as a necessary evil, believing one horrible thing is better than doing nothing. He tells Rebecca this isn't a holy war, but simply about survival, wanting to live one more day. He warns her that once the houses of hell have found her, they will always pursue her. Delver offers her a choice: stay with him, learn to live with the entity, and become unbreakable by facing her darkest self. Rebecca's ultimate decision is left ambiguous, but the film implies she has no real escape. The ending suggests Rebecca must embrace a new, terrifying existence, forever tethered to the supernatural world, constantly battling the entity within her mind. And there you have it, the full, harrowing journey through Deliver Us. This film masterfully blends psychological horror with demonic possession, leaving a lingering sense of dread and a chilling examination of guilt and survival. What did you think of Rebecca's ordeal and Mr. Delver's twisted philosophy? Did you spot any hidden details we missed? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a like, share it with fellow horror fans, and subscribe for more movie explanations and recaps. Until next time, stay safe out there, and don't trust your mortician.